Hello dear viewer! Factorio 2.1 is out and Whoop purged space casinos from the game. As of making this video, 2.1 is only available when experimental upgrades are enabled. You'll find the option in the main menu under Settings, Other, Enable Experimental Upgrades. If your save game had a space casino, you'll find that all quality modules in your crushers are simply gone. And it's now impossible to use them for asteroid reprocessing. So how do we get those juicy legendary resources in 2.1? Let's remind ourselves about what space casinos actually produced. First, legendary iron ore and optionally copper ore. Since copper can be made by recycling low density structures, we'll ignore it for now. Second and third, legendary coal and calcite. The latter can be turned into legendary stone on Vulcanus using the molten copper from lava recipe. Iron, coal and stone in legendary quality. These three basic resources can easily be farmed on Vulcanus, and I think it's even easier than building a space casino. Let me show you how I will do it in 2.1. To get legendary iron, we build a couple of foundries to get molten iron. There's no quality involved here, since liquids in Factorio cannot have quality. Then we turn the molten iron into iron plates, this time using quality modules. Let's get one thing out of the way. Don't mix quality modules with speed modules, since speed modules actually decrease the quality chances. And I love that speed modules don't work well with quality, because this way the quality production is large and requires more machines, in this case foundries. If an iron plate turns into legendary iron, we'll filter it out using this splitter and we collect it in a passive provider chest. All other iron plates will be turned into iron chests. Iron chests are the perfect choice for an upcycling attempt because they only require iron and have a very fast crafting speed. All iron chests will then be recycled no matter the quality, and the resulting iron plates will then circle back to the beginning where potential legendary iron plates will be filtered. This upcycling row can be duplicated. In this case I use 4 rows, but you can build more if you want. Other than electricity, this upcycling process is basically free, since lava is an infinite resource and the quantity of calcite used to make molten iron is negligible. Feel free to build as many rows as needed, and you can of course also upgrade all machines to legendary quality later, increasing production speed even more. These 4 rows of iron upcycling with machines at normal quality and when using legendary quality modules produce roughly half of what my Megabase space casino produced. And that quantity was already more than enough to build a 1 million ESPM base. Moving on to the production of legendary stone. Stone is a byproduct of the molten copper from lava recipe, which is why I set up a couple of foundries over here. This time they utilize quality modules, since we don't care about the molten copper. I set up this little upcycling unit for each 2 foundries. If the resulting stone is legendary, it will stay in those passive provider chests. If not, these filtered inserters will recycle the stone with quality modules for another chance to increase quality. This time I'm not trying to turn stone into something else, like I did with the iron plates, turning them into chests. This is simple quality recycling, which is not very efficient, but I don't care, since this process, just like the molten iron production, only consumes electricity, lava and a tiny amount of calcite. Usually you don't need that much stone to produce quality items. Stone is necessary for legendary electric furnaces or heating towers, but that's about it. If you need more, build more of these, but for me this little setup will be sufficient. Oh, of course, we have to talk about the molten copper. It has to go somewhere, otherwise production will stop. That's why I built a fluid voiding setup over here. I already made a video explaining in detail how this works, link is in the description. Some molten copper will be pumped into this storage tank over here. It will be important for low density structure production later. Next, how to get legendary coal. Well, there are different methods and maybe I'll explore some of them later, like grenade upcycling or plastic upcycling, but I want to keep things simple. Which is why we simply mine coal using quality modules in the big mining drills. This setup will mine 2 full turbo belts of mixed quality coal. Legendary coal will be filtered, everything else recycled with an additional chance to increase quality. Another filter another recycling unit, then we loop back into the second filter and recycle unit. Very simple, not very efficient when it comes to the ratio of legendary coal per coal mined, but since coal is abundant in default Factorio space age and quality big mining drills have a ridiculous resource drain, there's absolutely no reason why we cannot simply turn 2 or maybe even 4, 6 or 8 turbo belts into coal upcycling. You don't have to set this up near your quality factory, by the way. All of this coal upcycling could easily be done at this faraway 33 million coal patch over here with bots transporting the resulting legendary coal. No need to overcomplicate things. This method will yield less coal than our space casino did in the past, but it will be sufficient for multiple reasons. First, turning coal into plastic is very efficient using cryo plants. With 8 productivity modules and plastic productivity research, we multiply the resulting plastic. Let's pause for a second. We now have the 3 basic legendary materials we need, but how to make legendary copper? That's where our good old friend, the LDS shuffle, comes into play. Low density structures are made from molten iron, molten copper and plastic. Liquids cannot have quality. This means we basically get legendary LDS just from legendary plastic. Then, by recycling, we produce legendary steel and copper, and we get some plastic back. The higher the productivity of your foundries, the better. Reaching the maximum 300% productivity is possible with LDS productivity research. In this case, we would get 4 LDS per 5 plastic. After recycling, we get those 5 plastic back, turning this into an infinite copper and steel production without wasting any plastic at all. But in the early stages of the late game, having just some productivity is totally fine. Trust me, copper and steel won't be an issue. If anything, plastic will be the bottleneck. I set up the recycling in such a way that the 3 resulting products each have their own chest. I put plastic into its storage chest, since this has priority over the red passive provider chests. Meanwhile, steel and copper will be voided in this recycler when their quantity reaches a certain threshold. We don't want to clog production if either steel or copper overflows the chests. To make sure that LDS will only be recycled when necessary, I read the quantity of copper and steel. A decider combinator will then turn on the recycler based on those thresholds. When setting up quality production, you will probably start by using normal level 3 quality modules from Fulgora. It's very important to realize that legendary level 2 quality modules are vastly better than normal level 3 ones. Twice as good actually, 5% versus 2.5%. Notice how the difference between normal level 1 and level 2 is 1%, but going from level 2 to level 3 is just an additional 0.5%. Because of this, you don't have to deal with legendary holmium production or shipping things to Fulgora at this point. The only item you are aiming for right now is the level 2 legendary quality module and its required intermediate items. If you manage to upgrade all your modules to this tier, then you can start producing whatever else you desire. Okay, that's it. I'll provide some blueprints in the description below. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll be starting a Factorio 2.1 run next, and rare tier supporters get access to all of my save games. Thanks for watching. Bye.